live, and we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Generic Live Show. This is GLS, Generic Live Show with Campbell for the 4th of June, 2017. Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure to be here as per always on a Sunday. Lots to get to today. There's a lot happening in the big, bad world of fun time, isn't there? If you've been watching the news at all today, you'll know that we've got a lot to get through this evening, as well as stuff from last week. So it kind of worked out not well that we went here last week, and I do apologize for not being here last week as well. So thank you for holding on while we were away. But we're back now. We're ready to go. We're good to go. We're going to get this show started in 3, 2, 1. Hold on tight. This is the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. It's Dale Campbell here with you as always, and we're doing it for Geek.io. Thanks for joining us here on a Sunday. Apologies for not being here last week. I came down with vertigo. Ew. And I'm still recovering. Apologies if you can hear it in my voice or you suddenly hear me coughing all of a sudden. And the result of the vertigo was that I came down with a chest, not necessarily a cold, but a chest cough. Anyway, so we've been away, and while we've been away, boy, haven't things gotten interesting. Now, I'm going to say this up front, and hopefully it's 9:01, by the way, 9:01 Australian Eastern Standard Time, so it's 7:01 if you are waking up with us in the US of A on Sunday the 4th of June 2017. I don't know why I said the 9th. But I want to say this, and I hope people don't take this the same way. And it is June, and it's kind of hard to phrase now, because I understand that it's a very sensitive time. I don't know why the word sensible was coming to mind, but that's not a word. But it's very sensitive kind of time out there. So I thought I'd open up the show not necessarily with a request, because I know I don't have that much influence over people's lives, but I thought I'd open the show today with a message of support. You know, it's a hard time out there, and people are having a tough time, and it is a tough time for all of us out there at the moment. Just stay safe. You know, I don't know if many people are taking this message as seriously as I would like, but stay safe and remember just where you come from. You know, it's have this kind of 2 feet on the ground at all times mentality, particularly in a turbulent time like this. And of course, we're going to be talking about what happened last week and what happened this week and all the news in between. And I'm here primarily. I'm not a professional newsreader. I'm here. I'm not necessarily. I wouldn't classify myself as an entertainer either, but I'm a podcaster. I'll give myself that title because that's more accurate. I put out podcasts week to week, but I'm just one lonely person, and if we all come together in this binding way, we can do this. And one thing about this show that I think gets underappreciated is that impact of me being here from 9 to 11 every Sunday is that I'm not necessarily conveying a message of hope. I'm conveying a message of, oh, hey, let's look at the world. Wasn't that great? Now we're going to move on to the week ahead kind of situation. and that's why I frame myself as the most generic live show. But behind the curtain for a second, because I think it's worth it. I think we just need to appreciate things for what they are. And many people in the world aren't doing that at the moment. So we definitely can do more of that, I think, in the world, particularly in these times, if that makes sense. You know, love one another, basically, is what I'm saying. Love to love, you know. There's been a lot going on lately, so let's dive in to the generic live show proper here. Now, if you don't know or you haven't heard, there was a bombing attack that involved a bomb on the London Bridge, between the London Bridge and the Borough markets. The ABC is reporting that news.com.au are reporting that there are 7 dead and 48 injured. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull said that 2 Australians were caught up in the attack. Quote, at this time, we are aware of reports of 2 Australians who are directly being affected by this attack, Mr. Turnbull said. Now, side note, before we hear from the Prime Minister, again, I don't know why, and this is one of my pet peeves that I'm actually getting a little tired of this, is that 7 people included the 3 attackers that were involved in this case. And that'll become clearer as we provide information, as the Generic Live Show provides information to you in this first hour of the program. And we're doing this in the second hour of the program as well, but particularly the first hour is very information heavy. So enjoy. But 7 people were killed. That includes the 3 men that were involved in the attack. So I'm going to say again, like I've said previously when these attacks come up, 4 people were killed and 48 people injured. No, and I didn't get, not that I got raked through the coals last time, but someone mentioned to me that, oh, you know, you're fudging the numbers. I'm not fudging the numbers. These 3 quote unquote people were inflicting harm on another person in the name of something else. And in this case, it was in the name of terror. Now, I don't want to call these people because that is not a normal humanly thing to do, is to go out and seek to murder people. That is not a normal thing to do. So I'm not fudging the numbers and the such, but I'm going out there and saying that what if I say 4 other people? 4 other people were killed and 48 injured. There you go. Let's have a look. Let's have a listen now to the Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, shall we?
There are many Australians in London. 130,000 Australians live in the UK. And we're aware of many Australians who are in the vicinity of the attack. At this time, we are aware of reports of 2 Australians who have been directly affected by this attack. This afternoon, the Foreign Minister has spoken to the parents of both Australians. 1 case has been confirmed and the Australian concerned is in hospital. In the other case, we are continuing to make inquiries. Our officials will continue to provide every assistance they can to Australians affected by this shocking attack and to their families.
That was Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull there, giving a sort of a report on the people affected by this London attack. Now, distinction, before we continue, this is not referring to the Manchester attack, Ariana Grande concert attack that happened last week. We'll be talking about that a little bit later on in the Generic Live Show. I think this hour in the Generic Live Show, we'll be talking about that. Now, excuse me, how did all of this happen? So just after 10 p.m. Sunday, British Standard Time, a vehicle struck passengers on the London Bridge, according to London's Assistant Commissioner Mark Rowley. The driver then drove into the London Bridge from, where are we going here? From the London Bridge to Borough Market, at which point the suspects left the vehicle. A number of people were then stabbed, including on-duty British Transport Police officer who was responsible to the incident at the London Bridge. He received serious but not life-threatening injuries. At this point, that armed officer confronted the three male suspects who were shot and killed in the market. Now, as a point of information, from where the attack happened to the Borough Market, which seems to be a kind of around the corner or across the street from the London Bridge bus station, and is kind of near the sort of a train intersection, from what I'm seeing on the map here, reported by the ABC. Is it over? Police have described the operation as ongoing, adding it would be led by London's Metropolitan Police Force. They are working closely with British Transport Police, City of London Police, the London Ambulance Service, and the London Fire Brigade. Police are also advising the public to avoid the London Bridge and Borough Market area. Quote, this will allow emergency services to deal with the incident, unquote, Assistant Commissioner Royley said. So, is this a terrorist incident? Police are saying they're threatening it as a terror incident. The investigation is being led by Counter-Terrorism Command, and police are asked for images, footage of the incident to be passed into officers. British Prime Minister Theresa May earlier said the incident was being treated as a potential act of terrorism. Now, I believe, yeah, this is audio of people that are fine. So people were told to.
What happened there?
Yeah, there's sirens going off here, but nothing happening in this audio. But people were told to. The bridge was closed as well, and the such. So here, there is no audio as such on this one. But there was a white van. Okay, that audio, there was no audio on that one. So here,
our current belief.
Excuse me. Here is
our current belief.
No, let me talk. Here is the London police giving an update on the attacks.
Our current belief is that there were 3 attackers, but this is early on, so we've still got some inquiries to work through to be completely confident about that.
There were 3 attackers in the vehicle, so the attackers from the vehicle have all been killed.
So this is a protracted incident that starts on the bridge and finishes in Borough Market, and we believe 3 people were involved, but we've still got some more inquiries to do to be 100% confident in that.
Can you tell us anything more about the attacks, where the people were killed?
No, you're asking for a lot of detail there.
Yeah.
We're still getting to the bottom of exactly what's gone on, the number of casualties, and it's still quite a complex scene. As you'll have understood from what I've said, we're still dealing with the fact that we suspected that at one stage to be explosives, albeit that's now been ruled out. Last question.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the people who are involved in the operation to bring down these terrorists?
So the public will be aware that we have strengthened our armed policing presence across London in recent years. So we've got more armed response vehicles to hand, and it's those armed response vehicles who are out driving around London day in and day out to protect the public. They responded quickly, bravely confronted these 3 individuals, shot them, and they are dead. That's finished, thank you.
Okay.
That is the London police responding to early questions of the London Bridge attack. Now, that audio there is interesting because it is still very early stages. I mean, what would the time be over there? It would be about 1:13 in the afternoon. Actually, what is the time in Someone on ground control. What is the time in Britain right now? Let's get on that, shall we? What time is it in London? Here we go. I'm by myself today, actually. Why was I yelling out for people? It is 12:13 in the afternoon. So it happened about 10 hours ago. Yeah, 10 hours ago. That'd be about right. Yeah, about that. So it's 12:13 on Sunday, the 4th of June. So about lunchtime there now. So it happened at 10 p.m. last night. So what about the aftermath? So the aftermath, after the van plowed through, more than 48 people have been taken to the hospital, sustaining injuries. So of course they need to be treated there. Explosive votes were fake, police say. So more is coming out about the actual investigation itself. Witnesses.
We were over by Borough.
This video is worth listening to. Here are witnesses from the scene of the London Bridge attack. This is what I wanted.
We were over by Borough Market, and we heard screaming and running.
And at first we didn't think anything of it because
we thought people were drunk, and we started.
We
started running. Some woman came out like someone's bleeding on the floor, someone's on the road. Get out of the area now. She pointed us in that direction. I grabbed Georgie and we ran, and we saw some chefs in a smoking area behind the thing, and I came up to them and went, right, there's been a terror attack. Let's lock these doors, let's get people in. So we got people in through these big gates of the hotel at the Premier Inn Hotel. We got people through the gates, and then me and another chef slammed the gate shut, locked it all, and then we got everyone inside the hotel. We went up to the 3rd floor of the hotel, banging on all the doors, let's have 5 people in each room and on the floor of the hotel.
So it's safe.
And then we just stayed in the hotel room until the alarm started going off and we had to evacuate.
And did you see anyone who was injured or hurt?
No. We were right by the staircase up to London Bridge.
Yeah, it's just the distress of people running and screaming.
Those witnesses from the London Bridge attack. They were towards the end of that line of events. They were near the Borough Markets, describing the screaming and running from the London Bridge that took place. This audio is from a local restaurant that people took shelter in.
Vamos por el paso.
So yeah, that horrific scene. It must have been there in the London Bridge. The final bit of audio I want to talk about is the police response to the London attacks, if I may, after this commercial break. Is going to interrupt me. So I'm going to talk over it because of course I will. Here we go. Shock absorption, everyone. Yay. Okay, here we go.
Southern end of London Bridge. Police are desperately trying to clear the area.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please leave the area for your own safety, please?
Nearby, a group of terrorists in a van have just run over pedestrians before launching a sustained and deadly knife attack. Armed police were on the scene within minutes. Shows one of the terrorists lying dead on the street, metal canisters strapped to his upper body. They were examined by bomb technicians and deemed to be a hoax. Members of the public took cover nearby.
They just apprehended some guy who they've just taken off.
This is now a major terrorist investigation led by the UK's most senior counter-terrorism police officer.
At 8 minutes past 10 last night, we began to receive reports that a vehicle had struck pedestrians on London Bridge. The vehicle continued to drive then from London Bridge to Borough Market. The suspects left the vehicle, attempting to stab a number of people, including an on-duty British Transport Police officer who was responding to the incident, and he received serious injuries, fortunately not life-threatening. His family had been informed. Armed response officers then responded very quickly and bravely and confronted the 3 male suspects who were shot and killed in Borough Market. The suspects had been confronted and shot by police within 8 minutes of the first call. The suspects were wearing what looked like explosive vests, but these were later established to be hoaxes.
Now, we'll play that audio for you because we have to take our break right now. So we'll play the rest of that audio for you on the second hour of the program. We'll play the full video of that police report. Now, but I wanted to mention something because, well, this video contains basically everything I've said for the last 20 minutes, just in video form and not me talking. So, but I wanted to mention this. It took them 8 minutes to respond to the call. 8 minutes. That is a long time when we're talking about things that could be changing in a matter of seconds. Now, I know it's rich for me to sit here in my office on a Sunday, basically, and the police do a magnificent job. But again, like I said last time, we need to streamline the police service and make it a whole lot more, it's not necessarily accessible, but definitely make it more responsive in terms of time. And I again, like I said last time, I don't know how to make that necessarily happen, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's something I can't quite figure out how to do, but it is definitely something that urgently needs to be done. And we'll have more of this and any updates that come in to the Generic Live Show headquarters as the show develops and we move on here. As we continue here on the Generic Live Show, well, Ben & Jerry's, the ice cream company, are known to have strong opinions on things. But have they gone too far this time? We'll tell you more as we continue here on the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us here on a Sunday. It's Dale Campbell here with you. We're doing it for Geek.io. Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure to be here as per always. It's 9:21.
Hey you, yes you, fine listener of this program, you can help us become more than what we already are. I know, it's a revolution. Hold on to your butts because I'm about to give you a URL address that could change our lives. Not really, but it would help us out tremendously if you went over to geek-io.net/support so we can do a lot more than what we're actually doing now. That website actually has a lot of links on it where you can help us out monthly through Patreon at our Patreon site at patreon.com/geekio, or you can help us out once off by supporting those who support us. But then you can become the ones who support us, who support you, who support us. It's supportception. To continue this supportception, it's in your hands. Go to geek-io.net/support to keep this ever-long cycle of support up. Thank you.
You finally found the most generic live show. This is the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. It's Dale Campbell here with you, and we're doing it for Geek.io. Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure as always. We are following the London bombing story here on the Generic Live Show. We'll have more breaking news as it develops, and we'll talk about it again on the second hour of the program. But this segment, we'll be talking about Ben and Jerry's. Well, they've had some controversial opinions over the last however long. I mean, however long. How long do you want to go back to Ben and Jerry's strong opinions? This time, have they affected something that maybe is unacceptable? Hang on. Hold on now. Don't get too crazy. But here we go. Let's see what they've done this time. So this time, the article reads from ladbible.com. I know, right? This has come from other legitimate sources, by the way. I just want to put that out there. The article reads, Argentina, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, Colombia, Denmark, Finland, France, Iceland, Ireland, Luxembourg, Mexico, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, South Africa, Spain, Sweden, Taiwan, United Kingdom, United States, and Uruguay. What do all of those countries have in common? You might be asking yourself. Well, all of those countries have equal marriage, and equal marriage is legalized. Perhaps surprisingly, off that list is Australia. The Southern Hemisphere country blocked a national vote on legalizing, is that word there, jeepers, same-sex marriage just last year, and it caused some uproar amongst its citizens, with polls suggesting they support gay marriage. Now, more noise is being created by ice cream legends Ben and Jerry. The company is banning all 2 scoops of the same flavor until Australia legalizes marriage equality. The idea behind it is simple. It's designed to encourage customers to empathize with the LGBTQ activities and push their MPs to support marriage equality. Until that happens, Ben and Jerry's stand will remain. In an unofficial statement, Ben & Jerry's said, quote, imagine heading down to your local scoop shop to order your favorite 2 scoops of cookie dough in a waffle cone, but find out that you're not allowed. You'd be furious. Quote, this doesn't even compare to how furious you would be if you were told you were not allowed to marry the person that you love. So, we are banning 2 scoops of the same flavor and encouraging our fans to contact all of their MPs that the time has come to make marriage equality legal, unquote. Ben & Jerry's is hosting post boxes. What? Are hosting post boxes in the country's 26 stores, letting customers write postcards to their MPs that will be delivered to Australian Parliament in June. Oh, okay. So this this story continues, making me choke. More Australians than ever before believe everyone should have the right to love who they love and marry them too, if that's what makes you happy. Let's make it happen. Earlier this year, B&J's gave us 3 new flavors to indulge in. And by indulge, we mean eating the whole tub in one sitting at movie night. There is chocolate caramel cookie dough featuring vanilla ice cream, salted caramel swirls, brownies, and choc chunks. Strawberry swirled, strawberry and marshmallow swirls, shortbread and white chocolate chunks, and top salted caramel brownie. Chocolate chunks, salted caramel swirls, and chocolate ice cream. So when it comes to deciding to support gay marriage and to selecting new ice cream flavors, Lad Bible support the choices made by Ben and Jerry's. Is this the ad? Is this an ad? Please tell me this is an ad for it. Oh no, here we go. Oh, this is not a Oh god, why doesn't it have audio? You would think, you know what? If you are going to make Marketing 101, if you're going to make a Twitter ad, go out to millions of followers, make sure you have sound on it. Otherwise, that would have been just 18 seconds of silence. But basically, the same ad, the ad is, sorry, we're super sorry. You can't choose that, which is, it lists like a whole bunch of flavors on top of each other. And then administrators, Aussies still don't have a choice to marry who they love. We believe that love comes in all flavors and everyone should get that choice. Support marriage equality today. And of course, they did it in conjunction with equalitycampaign.org.au. Now, when it does come to ice cream flavors, you know, I'd like to say on this show that politics stops where my stomach begins. But come on, it's ice cream. And also, I do understand the point here, but what if they flipped it? What if Ben & Jerry's flipped it? What if they said, no, you can't have, no. Oh yeah, I said this the other day at work and it didn't really make sense, but what if, yeah, you can't have two different flavors, if that makes sense. What if you can only have what if you can only have what if you can only have two of the same? What if you can't have two different ones? But I suppose this makes sense a whole lot more. I tried to make that argument the other day and it didn't really come back at me. But it's like, you know, what do Ben & Jerry people? The argument can be: do Ben & Jerry's have the right to constrict the members that I understand that they support marriage equality, and more people that support marriage equality, the better. I'm not knocking that. But do they have the right? I suppose people could argue they're a private business, but do they have the right to constrict customers like this? I suppose that is the argument that people can make. But whether they can or not is another story. They are, and good on them for doing it. But I don't know, something a bit like, do you have to go this extreme? The postcards and the postbox and the encouragement is great. I don't know whether, forcing businesses, because I'm assuming they're franchised, so forcing businesses to implement something until marriage equality has happened, I don't know about that part of it. As we continue here on the Generic Live Show, thanks for joining us. Now, last week, the Ariana Grande concert attack happened, and we'll break it down for you and give it everything you need to know in this first hour of the program. You're an information-seeking bunch, and that information we'll give you as we continue here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. It's Dale Campbell here with you. It's a pleasure as always. We're doing it for Geek.io. It is 9:32.
Hey you, yes you, fine listener of this program. You can help us become more than what we already are. I know, it's a revolution. Hold on to your butts, because I'm about to give you a URL address that could change our lives. Not really, but it would help us out tremendously if you went over to geek-io.net/support, so we can do a lot more than what we're actually doing now. That website actually has a lot of links on it where you can help us out monthly through Patreon at our Patreon site at patreon.com/geekio, or you can help us out once off by supporting those who support us. But then you can become us who support you who support us. It's supportception. To continue this supportception, it's in your hands. Go to geek-io.net/support to keep this ever-long cycle of support up. Thank you.
We're here to give you a big dose of genericness. This is the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. It's Dale Campbell here with you. As always, we're doing it for Geek IO. Thanks for joining us here on a Sunday. It's Big Beat Sunday here on the Generic Live Show. Listen to this. Right in you. Oh, here we go. There you go. Sunday here on the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure, as always, to be here. Now, one story that rocked the world last week, and yes, we weren't here to cover it, unfortunately. Sorry about that, but we thought we'd keep it in here just to be safe. At least children, by the way, were at this concert, and by children, the international law still says that children, people under the age of 18, are still technically considered children. So children were among the 22 dead at Ariana Grande concert after explosion. At least 22 people died, including some children were killed and 59 wounded when a suicide bomber struck as thousands of fans screamed out of a concert by US pop star Ariana Grande in the British city of Manchester. Some key points for you. Man detonated improvised explosive device at the concert, police said. Authorities working to learn if the man acted alone or a part of a group. It later came, because this story is from last week, it was later revealed that, yes, ISIS did take credit for this attack, and he was a part of a bomb-making school, if that makes sense, that was held in someone's house earlier that day. Now, there were lots of screaming and lots of loud bang that heard. Now, the bomb went off. From all reports that I saw in preparation for last week's show, it happened in a foyer type area of the kind of foyer of the concert hall. That makes sense. And also, there was lots of panic at the local underground train station, subway area as well. So basically, so what you need to know from this. Let's see if this audio plays. It will, but there'll be a commercial first, because of course there will. And we'll get to what Ariana Grande says, because I think what Ariana Grande says next is very important here. If this thing will load. But anyway, we'll let 22 confirmed dead and no identities have been released as well. And the ad will play again, apparently. So here we go. Get excited for repeating commercials here on the Generic Live Show. Anyway, so we'll let that run and we'll let that go. Hopefully. Nope, it won't play. Okay, thank you. Wow, all right. So Ariana Grande had tweeted, so we'll move on to what Ariana Grande says. Yay! So Ariana Grande posted a picture. Now, I'm led to believe this is a day later. Oh, it just closed. Yay! What are we doing? This is what I'm left with when no one from ground control is in the office. When I'm here left to hold the fort down on my own. This is what I get. So I'm going to zoom on this because again I can't read. So here we go. So here's what Ariana Grande posted. This is from her Instagram account, I'm led to believe. My heart, prayers, and deepest condolences With the victims of the Manchester attack and their loved ones, there is nothing I or anyone can do to take away the pain you are feeling or make this better. However, I extend my hand and heart and everything I possibly can give to you and yours should you want or need my help in any way. The only thing we can do is choose how we let this affect us and how we live our lives here on out. I've been thinking of my fans and of you all non-stop over the past week. Okay, so this was last week then. The way you have handled all of this has been more inspiring and made me more proud than you'll ever know. The compassion, kindness, love, strength, and oneness that you have shown one another this past week is exact opposite of the horrendous instances it must take to pull off something as evil that happened on Monday. You are the opposite. I am sorry for the pain and fear you must be feeling and the trauma that you, too, must be experiencing. This is all a part of the statement. We will never be able to understand why events like this take place because it is not in our nature, which is why we shouldn't recoil. We will never quit or operate in fear. They won't let this divide us. We won't let hate win. Excuse me. I don't want to go on with the rest of the year without being able to see and hold and uplift my fans the same way they continue to uplift me. Our response to this violence must be to come closer together, to help each other, to love more, to sing louder, and live more kindly and generously than we did before. Wow, can't read today. I'll be returning to the incredibly late city of Manchester to spend time with my fans and do a benefit concert in honour and to raise money for the victims and their families. I want to thank my fellow musicians and friends for reaching out to be a part of the expression of love for Manchester. I will have the details to share with you as soon as everything is confirmed. From this day, we started putting the Dangerous Woman tour together. From the day we started putting the Dangerous Woman tour together, I said that this show, more than anything else, was intended to be a safe space for my fans, a place for them to escape, celebrate, to heal, to feel safe, to be themselves, to meet their friends they've made online, to express themselves. This will not change that. When you look at the audience at my shows, you see the most beautiful, diverse, pure, happy crowd. Thousands of people, incredibly different, all there for the same reason. Music. Music is something that everyone on earth can share. Music is meant to heal us, bring us together, to make us happy, so that will continue to do that for us. We will continue to honor the ones we lost, their loved ones, my fans, and all affected by this tragedy. And they will be on my mind and in my heart every day, and I will think of them with everything I do for the rest of my life. Ari. Wow, that is just something that, whew. And I actually believe that did actually come, I'm led to believe that did actually come from Ariana Grande herself. And hang on a sec. Okay, I'm back. I just had to cough there. Too much excitement in one page there. I am led to believe that Ariana Grande thinks like that. She does have a big heart, and music for her is always been bringing this strange and diverse group of people together for one common purpose, and that is to create music and to create this sense of belonging, if that makes sense. So that is something that she is passionate about. And yeah, this benefit concert is on tonight, I believe, from 8 p.m. British Standard Time, not Greenwich Mean Time, because Britain's not on that, because daylight savings. So British Standard Time is when the concert is from 8 p.m. I'm led to believe tonight, Sunday. So if you hear this tomorrow on the podcast, that won't matter much. But there are a lot of carriers that are carrying it. So check your local listings. And like I said, this is something, and I think it's actually being done in conjunction with the Entertainment Industry Fund, which helps people that have been injured in events like this, not necessarily to this level, but it helps distribute money raised from charitable events, and helps move that money to hospitals, if that makes sense. So it is definitely going to a good cause. But Ariana Grande, well, I never thought I'd be sitting here at 9:44 p.m. on a Sunday evening congratulating Ariana Grande with saying that, because she could have easily came out and said that just said the tweet that she originally sent out, which is like broken. I think it said something like broken. My thoughts are with you, or something as simple like that, something along those lines. Definitely. Apologies if you can hear that, by the way. That is rain, so hopefully I can get. That's really loud. I hope can you hear that? Yeah, that is rain from outside, so I don't know what to do about that. Apologies. Yay, the joys of having tin roofs. But anyway, so good on Ariana Grande for coming out and actually saying something like that. It takes a lot to come out and thing like that and have people pay attention to it too. That's the big kicker, because most people look at a big statement and go TLDR, but it's good to see in 2017 that people are paying attention to longer form statements like that. Now, the New York Times did a kind of fact checker kind of deal, a fact checker style thing, because we know the only fact checker that's real is the Trump tracker, because of course. So they did a kind of what's true, what's not true. So the myth is Trump supporters are misleadingly suggesting that a travel ban like this would have prevented the attack. That is one rumor. Prominent defenders of Donald Trump are arguing that Manchester attack would have been prevented by a travel ban, but either of the two executive orders barring immigration from Muslim countries would have applied to a 22-year-old who carried the bomb in this attack. Not saying the name because I'm against that also. Who was born in Britain and held a British passport. Ooh. Ba-ba. The travel ban would have stopped his parents from coming to the UK and would have stopped him from going to Libya before bombing Manchester, but it wouldn't have applied to this. Wah-wah. Myth number 2. Some pursuing officials were closer tracking attacker than remains unclear. Social media users are questioning how the attacker could have re-entered Britain if he was quote-unquote known to the police, but law enforcement officials had yet to reveal how closely they were monitoring him. Ooh. Myth 3. Social media posts are spreading hoaxes about missing children. People took to social media to search for loved ones in the lost chaos followed the explosion, which are at Ariana Grande concert at the Manchester Arena. But many well-wishers and social media good Samaritans have been duped into sharing fake reports of missing victims. No. One account posted a plea to find my son, got retweeted over 19,000 times, but the person pictured is a popular YouTube user who posted a video declining the claim and calling it fake news, quote-unquote fake news from online trolls, quote-unquote trying to get laughs out. Ooh, Jesus. The account acknowledged that my post was later a stunt and calling it the user's most successful troll before being suspended from Twitter. Oh, what a dick. Just saying. One of the misdirecting parents to the hotels where they claim dozens of unnamed children were staying. In the confusion of the attack, many were pointing at frantic parents to Manchester hotel at hotels. Please stop retweeting. For anyone searching for children or loved one in Manchester, please check at Holiday Inn. Ugh. I posted from Facebook. I'm not sure what happened to Manchester, but I'm not speculating to all of you or any of you something about Holiday Inn. But Interconnectal Hotels, the parent company of Holiday Inn, told the New York Times that the rumors were not accurate. There you go. The next myth was some are taking old allegations about Ariana Grande out of context. Some users are resurfacing reports from 2014 that Miss Grande said that it hoped her fans had died. Oof. But these rumors, of course, have been denied by Miss Grande's representatives at the time. A Trump forum on Reddit claimed that BuzzFeed had removed its article about Miss Grande's alleged remark about a little cover-up. The original article was based on comments about her unnamed industry insider. Oh. Wow. Oh, the tweet was broken from the bottom of my heart. I am so sorry. I don't have words. That was the original Ariana Grande tweet. But after the bond, the original article, yep, that one. A representative from Miss Grande called the allegation untrue, and Miss Grande indirectly rebutted it on Twitter. There you go. So myths, we're ironing out the creases of the Manchester attack. As we continue here on the Generic Live Show, well, there's a breaking news story happening in London at about 10 p.m. last night. There was an attack that happened in London on the London Bridge, between the London Bridge and the Barrow markets. We'll tell you all about it in hour 2 of the broadcast, but the Trump tracker is back, and we've got a fresh round of the Trump tracker as we continue here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. Thanks for joining us. It's Dale Campbell here with you. That rain is really kicking up. It's 9:51.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Fine listener of this program. You can help us become more than what we already are. I know. It's a revolution. Hold on to your butts, because I'm about to give you a URL address that could change our lives. Not really, but it would help us out tremendously if you went over to geek-io.net/support, so we could do a lot more than what we're actually doing now. That website actually has a lot of links on it where you can help us out monthly through Patreon at our Patreon site at patreon.com/geekio, or you can help us out once off by supporting those who support us. But then you can become the ones who support us, who support you, who support us. It's supportception. To continue this supportception, it's in your hands. Go to geek-io.net/support.
The Geek-io Network is sponsored by Tweaked Audio with 7 stars and 7 colors. There are mic'd and not mic'd options available, designed to sound great with music and talk, and engineered for durability. All options come with a lifetime guaranteed and a noise-reducing design, just so you don't get distracted and focus on what matters most. Compatible with all of your devices, even those weird Windows phone no one likes. We have an exciting offer just for our listeners. If you use the coupon code GEEK at checkout, you will receive a third off your order plus free worldwide shipping. Head on over to tweakedaudio.com to check out their range, and when you're ready to order, remember to use our coupon code GEEK at checkout for a third off, free worldwide shipping, and that lifetime warranty guarantee. We thank Tweaked Audio for their support of the Geek.io network.
Whether we're waking you up or putting you to sleep, this is the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. Hi, it's Dale Campbell here with you on a Sunday. We're doing it for Geeko. Thanks for joining us. It's good to be here. I don't know how and I don't know why, but I've stopped the rain, so that's exciting. I mean, you might still hear it faintly in the background, but I had to close my window. Yay. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. And you know what time it is? It's everyone's favorite time. I was about to say the segment number. Actually, you know what? I can. It's segment 4. First hour. Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us. What? What was that? Oh, jeepers. All right, cut the music for a second. I love the fact that I'm still a little bit under the weather from last week. I came down with vertigo last week, and this chest cough is the result of that. But I love the fact when I was thinking about one thing and I was saying another, and the music interrupted, said something random and interrupted, and now I've lost all trains of thought. But anyway, so let's go back to this train of thought right here. It's the Generic Club Show. Dale Campbell. It's Trump time. Trump tracker time. And you know what that means? That means it's time for this. All right. Trump time. There you go, Trump time. All right, Trump doesn't like Paris. Oh, does that mean you know, this is the third time this week. This is the second time in the last 2 weeks I've yet to use this clip.
I hate the French.
He's like that too. He hates the French. Mr. President, why do you hate the French? You hate the French?
I hate the French.
There you go. He hates the French. So one prominent news story, apart from James Comey and that kind of investigation, which, by the way, that is happening this Friday. Oh boy, you can bet that we're gonna have that story right here on the Generic Live Show. I think he's doing it this coming Friday or this coming Thursday. This coming Thursday, I'm led to believe that he is actually kind of testifying before the Senate hearing, and it's being made public. So there you go. Oof. Oh, I got shivers down my spine. Oh, I forgot to do the introduction. What am I doing? The Trump Tracker is proudly brought to you by the Generic Live Show on the Washington Post. It's day 135 of the Trump administration, with 1,325 days in his term. There you go. Sold. Forgot to do that at the beginning. What am I doing? This is why we need people in HQ, because I can't man the show by myself anymore. It's gotten too big. It's too big. All right, so one thing has happened in the Trump agenda since last time we spoke. He has launched another promise. Ta-da! To cancel millions in payments to the UN climate change programs and use money to fix America's water and environmental infrastructure. On June 1st, Trump announced the would withdraw from the United States from the Paris Accord on climate change. He made it clear that he would not be delivering the remaining $2 billion. The United States has committed to the Green Climate Fund. On one level, this is a promise kept, but Trump specifically said he would devote the funds to fixing environmental and water structures in the United States. So we'll monitor to see if that is the case. His budget overall has reduced funding for environmental incentives. So we're going to actually see how that one goes for the time being. It's not necessarily kept as of yet because, yeah, he's cancelled billions of dollars, but we'll see if he actually puts it to the use of that. So what would it be? Would it be a compromise? or broken. Yeah, don't know. We'll track that one and we'll see how we go on that one. There you go. Grow the economy 4% a year. He's a little stuck on that one, isn't he? Because he's only grown at 0.7% in Q1. So he's got a lot of work to do to grow the economy. The old Trump. As we continue here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday, well, at about 10 p.m. last night, London local time, an attack happened on the London Bridge. We'll bring you any breaking information that we have, plus how the attack took place. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show. It's Dale Campbell here with you on a Sunday, and we're doing it for Geek.io. It's a pleasure as always. Thanks for joining us. It's 9:59.
Hey you, yes you, fine listener of this program. You can help us become more than what we already are. I know, it's a revolution. Hold on to your butts, because I'm about to give you a URL address that could change our lives. Not really, but it would help us out tremendously if you went over to geek-io.net/support, so we can do a lot more than what we're actually doing now. That website actually has a lot of links on it where you can help us out monthly through Patreon at our Patreon site at patreon.com/geek.io, or you can help us out once off by supporting those who support us. But then you can become the ones who support us, who support you, who support us. It's supportception. To continue this supportception, it's in your hands. Go to geek-io.net/support. Yes, you. This fine listener of this cycle of support, you can help us become more than what we already are. I know, it's a revolution. Hold on to your butts, because I'm about to give you a URL address that could change our lives. Not really, but it would help us out tremendously if you went over to geek-io.net/support, so we can do a lot more than what we're actually doing now. That website actually has a lot of links on it where you can help us out monthly through Patreon at our Patreon site at patreon.com/geek.io, or you can help us out once off by supporting those who support us. But then you can become the ones who support us, who support you, who support us. It's supportception. To continue this supportception, it's in your hands. Go to geek-io.net/support to keep
it is with a heavy heart that I come to you with a word of warning.
Support.
Dark things are on the internet. I know, like me, you thought it was all funny cat pictures and sneezing pandas, but apparently there is also pornography, digital movie downloads and such. And people are accessing them secretly using ProXPN. To make matters worse, they're using our promotion code GEEK20 to save money while doing so. Even the regional sanctity of online services such as Netflix and Hulu are being bypassed in this way. That was not the intention of Geek.io offering you a discount using GEEK20 at checkout. So please, only use GEEK20 to save 20% at checkout with ProXPN if you're going to use it for secure and safe interneting while banking and watching the YouTubes. Hello, dear listener. Here at Geek.io, we're always happy to give some support to the little person. So today I'd like to let you know about a small internet startup called Amazon.com. Go to geek-io.net/Amazon to check out their large catalogs of books and magazines. I believe they may have some other items for sale too, records and videotapes perhaps. Using geek-io.net/Amazon lets them know you discovered them through us, and I'll throw a few pennies our way.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is JD from How It Stacks here to talk to you about ProXPN. It is a private VPN, which basically means it is going to mask your IP address, protecting your data. So if you're out on the interwebs doing things you might not need to be doing, or if you're banking online overseas, it will help mask your data and keep it completely private. And you can do this for only $6.25 a month regularly, or you can use Geek20 for 20% off. So it's a pretty stellar deal, guys. And I'm just going to be honest, with all of the stuff that we've had going on, it's a good idea to invest in something like ProXPN.com. So I am JD, and I approve this message.
I got bad news for you. Your t-shirt sucks. You should take it off and buy a new one. And the best place to buy a new t-shirt is www.geek-io.net/tfury, because I can have a t-shirt, you can have a t-shirt, but you better not get it from anywhere else but T-Fury. I am JD, and I approve this message.
Welcome to your Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show. It's Dale Campbell here with you. It's a Sunday. It's a pleasure to be here. We're doing it for Geek.io. Thanks for joining us once again on the Generic Live Show, hour 2 of the program. Thanks for joining us. Now, there was another attack that happened on the world yet again, this time in London. So close to the last one that happened in Manchester. This one happened in London. More information from Sky News. There were now also want to point out something. Again, it's not like I'm fudging the numbers here. Yeah, there's a commercial playing, I know. But there's something that I need to say out loud. I don't consider the 3 people that were thankfully involved with the attack, that thankfully also were killed in the process of this attack, that were thankfully shot dead by London police officers. Want to also mention, I don't consider them on the death tally. I also like saying that I don't like saying it, but I prefer saying it, that 4 other people were killed and 48 injured. I said this last hour. I said it's not normal human behavior to. Yeah, it's not human behavior to do something like this. So I'm not going to consider them humans when they have decided to be influenced and to take on a harmful attack like this. Sky News with more information.
Of London Bridge. Police are desperately trying to clear the area.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please leave the area for your own safety? Please.
Nearby, a group of terrorists in a van have just run over pedestrians before launching a sustained and deadly knife attack. Armed police were on the scene within minutes. This photograph shows one of the terrorists lying dead on the street, metal canisters strapped to his upper body. They were examined by bomb technicians and deemed to be a hoax. Members of the public took cover nearby.
They just apprehended some guy who they've just taken off.
This is now a major terrorist investigation led by the UK's most senior counter-terrorism police officer.
At 8 minutes past 10 last night, we began to receive reports that a vehicle had struck pedestrians on London Bridge. The vehicle continued to drive then from London Bridge to Borough Market. The suspects left the vehicle, attempting to stab a number of people, including an on-duty British Transport Police officer who was responding to the incident, and he received serious injuries, fortunately not life-threatening. His family have been informed. Armed response officers then responded very quickly and bravely and confronted the 3 male suspects who were shot and killed in Borough Market. The suspects had been confronted and shot by police within 8 minutes of the first call. The suspects were wearing what looked like explosive vests, but these were later established to be hoaxes. The ongoing operation is led by the Met, working closely with British Transport Police, City of London Police, and London's ambulance and fire services. At this stage, we believe that sadly 6 people have died in addition to the 3 attackers shot by police.
This is the white van driven by the attackers, resting on the pavement, having ploughed into many pedestrians. Innocent members of the public who'd been enjoying a Saturday night out.
We were at the pub, came out and we ordered an Uber. That got cancelled, but we saw people running, saying, run, you need to run, people are getting stabbed. So we jumped in the nearest car, someone offered us a ride, and literally we just went around the block. We saw a body on the floor, lots of people around it, and I think that was before the pedestrians on actual London Bridge. We came up to London Bridge, and then we saw 2 pedestrians on the bridge, and police telling us to run. And then we saw someone actually right there, actually covered in blood with shorts covered in blood, and I've got a video of that as well.
Were people panicking?
Yeah, everyone was running. Everyone was running. I've never seen anything like it.
London Ambulance Service declared a major incident and brought extra resources to the scene, triaging the injured before transporting them to 6 London hospitals.
There were numerous people in the road, and then a second cab driver stopped and said there had been a series of stabbings. I certainly saw people who looked as if they'd been run over. Very soon after that, I saw 2 policemen get out of a BMW 4x4, and they were holding machine guns and they were putting on helmets.
Amid concern other terror suspects might still be unaccounted for, a massive police response began systematically clearing streets and properties.
Well, I mean, as we came in, we heard
6 gunshots, around 6 gunshots, really loud sirens because all the police were coming, huge crashes.
Yeah. And then from there, I mean, again, police sirens, fire trucks, ambulances, everything.
Many people who'd been in local bars and restaurants were led to safety. But as is customary in armed incidents, they're made to raise their hands behind their heads while police check for potential suspects. Police believe all those who carried out this terrorist attack have now been accounted for, but there is now an urgent investigation underway to determine whether there are any other individuals out there who may have had knowledge of this attack, who may have helped plan it, or who may be planning other attacks themselves. In the meantime, extra police resources will be on duty across the capital, both armed and unarmed officers patrolling crowded areas. The terrorist threat remains at severe, meaning other attacks are highly likely. Mark White, Sky News on London Bridge.
That was basically an everything that you need to know kind of roundup of the attacks that took place on London Bridge. Now, like I said, to open the broadcast today, and I think I need to say it at this junction for people tuning in for the second hour of the broadcast, I said we need to have this 2 feet on the ground approach to life. I think, particularly these days, it's June 4th here, and we're getting to the point where this sort of stuff was happening all the time in 2016. We don't need this to happen in 2017. It's a new year, it's a new dawn. We're nearly 6 months into the new year. We should be moving forward, not necessarily backwards. And I think we need to kind of have that 2 feet on the ground approach and to just learn how to love again. It's easy to do. So we need to basically learn how to embrace that theory and to definitely do this, to keep doing this again. It's not that hard. Here is the audio accolades continue, here is Malcolm Turnbull commenting on the attacks that took place.
130,000 Australians live in the UK, and we're aware of many Australians who are in the vicinity of the attack. At this time, we are aware of reports of 2 Australians who have been directly affected by this attack. This afternoon, the Foreign Minister has spoken to the parents of both Australians. One case has been confirmed and the Australian concerned is in hospital. In the other case, we are continuing to make inquiries. Our officials will continue to provide every assistance they can to Australians affected by this shocking attack and to their families.
Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull there describing the situation. The Australians rather involved with the London attack. Again, the terrorist level continues to be at severe, and with the benefit concert for Ariana Grande still happening tonight for what happened last week at the Ariana Grande concert. Unfortunately, we won't have time this hour to talk about that, so I thought I'd tie the two of them in. I'm not sure what's gonna happen next. Like, where do we go from here? And now the breaking development that has happened since we've hit the air here on the Generic Live Show, Theresa May is being forced. This is developing as we hit the air as well. The Labour Party suspends campaign activities for 24 hours after the UK, the London attacks. However, the Prime Minister announced that the election will go on as per normal. I believe this is the Prime Minister.
2 political parties have suspended our national campaigns for today. But violence can never be allowed to disrupt the democratic process. So those campaigns will resume in full tomorrow. And the general election will go ahead as planned on Thursday. Country, our response must be as it has always been when we have been confronted by violence. We must come together. We must pull together. And united, we will take on and defeat our enemies.
That is Britain's Prime Minister Theresa May talking that the campaigns have suspended political activities for Sunday, but for Sunday. Okay, for Sunday, but the political activities will continue as per normal on Monday. Where was I going with that? The general election will still take place on Thursday. Here is more.
The emergence of the threat from Islamist-inspired terrorism. Our country has made significant progress in disrupting plots and protecting the public. But it is time to say enough is enough. Everybody needs to go about their lives as they normally would. Our society should continue to function in accordance with our values. But when it comes to taking on extremism and terrorism, things need to change. As a mark of respect, 2 political parties have suspended our national campaigns for today. But violence can never be allowed to disrupt the democratic process. So those campaigns will resume in full tomorrow. And the general election will go ahead as planned on Thursday. As a country, our response must be as it has always been when we have been confronted by violence. We must come together. We must pull together. And united, we will take on and defeat our enemies.
That was just an extension of that first clip, but it's important to get that full clip I'm refusing to suspend the UK IP campaign because of disrupting our democracy is what extremists want. That's Paul Nuttall. Oh, Paul Nuttall. So Labour Party has suspended their campaign, but Paul Nuttall has not. Chris Cook has written on Twitter saying, "We need to cancel or postpone this election. It's important to have an unbiased campaign when the news is being dominated by terrorism." Wow. The general election is the target. They can't let them win. Postpone it a week. Blair had let it known that he penciled the election in for May 3rd to conceal with local council polls, but delayed the votes until June 7th because of difficulty with campaigning whilst the animal disease was being contained. Oh, that's right. The UK came down with animal disease. I forgot about that. So, yeah, the election, as it stands now at 10:19 time, will go on. What is this bit of audio? Is this something new? If it's not something new, then we will go take our break, but we'll sit through this commercial just for you. Let's say we don't do it here just for our listeners. I love the fact that they have made it impossible to mute these ads now. So I'll put that out there.
Horrified at what happened.
Oh, here we go.
Absolutely shocked and horrified at what happened. Looking at the pictures of people running frightened, police running in the other direction to try and help and save lives, and then our brilliant paramedics, ambulance crews and fire service crews all getting on the scene to help. This is a dreadful terrorist attack. It's taken yet more lives in this country. We won't be campaigning nationally during today, but we'll be resuming later on because I think it's important to give a message that democracy must prevail. If we allow these attacks to disrupt our democratic process, then we all lose. In response, as in Manchester, all communities must come together. Our strength is the strength of our community unity. That was shown in Manchester straight after the horrible event there, and I'm sure it'll be exactly the same in London.
That was the Labour leader extending his thoughts on the delay of the campaigning in the UK. Thursday will be interesting as we continue here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. Now, ladies, listen up because Daly is going to tell you something that you need to know about a special event that happens to you. Dale talks to the ladies here on the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show. It's Dale Campbell here with you. Pleasure as always. It's 10:22.
Hey you, yes you, fine listener of this program. You can help us become more than what we already are. I know, it's the revolution. Hold on to your butts because I'm about to give you a URL address that could change our lives. Not really, but it would help us out tremendously if you went over to geek-io.net/support so we can do a lot more than what we're actually doing now. That website actually has a lot of links on it where you can help us out monthly through Patreon at our Patreon site at patreon.com/geekio, or you can help us out once off by supporting those who support us. But then you can become the ones who support us, who support you, who support us. It's supportception. To continue this supportception, it's in your hands. Go to geek-io.net/support to keep this ever-long cycle of support up. Thank you.
finally found the most generic live show. This is the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. It's Dale Campbell here with you. We're doing it for Geeko. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. Now, it's time for no one's favorite segment ever. No, it's not Trump Tracker. No, it's definitely not Trump Tracker. Everyone's favorite not segment ever is Dale's Lady Chat. Oh yeah, Dale is about to talk to the ladies of the Generic Live Show community, and I know there's a few of them, so it's not like there's no... They're out there, let me tell you. Ladies, they're everywhere. So I'm going to do this as tastefully as I can, but we'll see how I go. So, anti-flow, red wedding, crimson tide, and that time of the month. So many euphemisms to talk about the same thing. But why? Because it's bloody awkward to talk about. Oh, you know, sometimes, yes. Clairard of Triple J, yes. This, exactly. Aussie women hide used products in their handbags when there are no bathroom bins in an attempt to keep purchases of personal care on the DL. Yes, they would like a bag for that. Such is the stigma, according to University of Melbourne's research fellow, Dr. Carla Pascoe. Global Girls' Rights Organisation Plan International UK. What? Oh, Global Girls' Rights Organisation, Plan International United Kingdom surveyed 2,000 women aged between 18 and 34 and found that 7 in 10 feel uncomfortable discussing their period with male peers at work. Wow, only 7 in 10? Wow, that's impressive, actually. I'm impressed. I would think that would be 10 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, really. Nearly 3/4 would be uncomfortable discussing with their male superiors. Okay, that's not surprising. Respondents said talking about it with male friends was uncomfortable too. But the big question is, can emojis make this process a lot easier? Oh, God. To mark World Menstrual Hygiene Day, Plan has launched a social media campaign to include an official period emoji on the global emoji keyboard. The wedding design will be submitted to the Unicode Constellation, which will then distribute the emojis worldwide between June 12 and June 22. Plan International Australia Deputy CEO Suzanne Lagina thinks it's a bit rich period emojis don't already exist. Wow, okay. We have, quote, we have emojis for bacon and clocks, yet we don't have, yet for this thing that happens to us every, what? Let me try that again. Quote, we have emojis for bacon and clocks, and yet for this thing that happens every month to women all over the world, we don't have any emojis to communicate about this really natural thing that is happening to us, unquote, she says. But the emoji campaign is not making it easier to communicate when you're checking into the Red Roof Inn, so to speak, and your partner needs to pick up some essential supplies with the milk. It's a reminder that many women around the world face massive challenges associated with it. And see, again, I'm trying to make this family friendly, but I don't know if I'm doing a good job or not. I just read that sentence. Challenges like feeling ashamed, 90%, missing out on school, 24%, and not being able to access products, 88%, according to Plan's research. That is Those three statistics come from Uganda, and India, respectively. Suzanne Lagunia said that South Sudan events that happen to women between every 28 and 31 days are putting women and girls in serious danger. So what's the solution? Suzanne said you can get behind plenty of products that are working to give sanitary products to women. For example, Plan's partner AfriPads, oh gosh, is a social enterprise where locals are making washable cloth sanitary pads to last up for a year. Quote, young women can sell them and earn income creating their own business, she says. In Australia, the Melbourne Period Project and Gift Box are providing sanitary products to people who are sleeping rough. Now, I'm not laughing at the actual subject matter. Don't get me wrong, because the subject matter, wow. If you go up to a woman, if you go up to a woman and laugh about this to her face, yeah, you're not going to have a face anymore because she's going to slap her to death. But apart from that, what I do find slightly hilarious in my 12-year-old mind is that just some of these names, like Gift Box and what was the other one? What was the other one here? Unofficial, that one. Unicode Consulism. There you go. Plan International. Plan's pretty good. Why Plan? What does Plan stand for? I don't. Well, we definitely know we know what they stand for. We know what they stand for. Okay, I can't better that joke. So time for a commercial break as we continue here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. It's Dale Campbell here with you. It's a pleasure as always. Now, the return of one of Australia's most, I'm going to say, well-known celebrities, but people are starting to stick up for what this person has done. We'll tear apart that argument as we continue here on the Generic Live Show. It's Dale Campbell as always. Stay safe out there, ladies. Thanks for joining us. It's 10:31.
Hey you, yes you, fine listener of this program. You can help us become more than what we already are. I know, it's a revolution. Hold on to your butts because I'm about to give you a URL address that could change our lives. Not really, but it would help us out tremendously if you went over to geek-io.net/support so we can do a lot more than what we're actually doing now. That website actually has a lot of links on it where you can help us out monthly through Patreon at our Patreon site at patreon.com/geekio, or you can help us out once off by supporting those who support us. But then you can become the ones who support us, who support you, who support us. It's supportception. To continue this supportception, it's in your hands. Go to geek-io.net/support.
Hi, this is JD. You know me from How It Stacks and other popular things that haven't quite caught on yet. But something that has caught on, that would be Think Geek. And everybody loves Think Geek because you can get Han Solo ice cubes, Daleks, sonic screwdrivers. Hell, I'm drinking a screwdriver now, but only because, I love Think Geek. And you can get all of those things except for, a screwdriver at geek-io.net/thinkgeek. And once again, I'm JD from How It Stacks and other things.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is JD from How It Stacks here to talk to you about ProXPN. It is a private VPN, which basically means it is going to mask your IP address, protecting your data. So if you're out on the interwebs doing things you might not need to be doing, or if you're banking online overseas, it will help mask your data and keep it completely private. And you can do this for only $6.25 a month regularly, or you can use Geek20 for 20% off. So it's a pretty stellar deal, guys. And I'm just going to be honest, with all of the stuff that we've had going on, it's a good idea to invest in something like ProXPN.com. So I am JD, and I approve this message.
Hold on tight. This is the Generic Live Show. Hold on tight indeed. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. It's Dale Campbell here with you. We're doing it for Geek.io, and I can't believe that I spent the last 10 minutes on the internet talk about, lady things. Hey, but good news is we do have ourselves a clip of the week, so that's exciting. So there you go. You're welcome. You know, I don't know why I get awkward talking about that sort of thing. It's just weird to me. I don't know. Maybe because I don't go through it. I don't know. It's strange. But here you go. So remember back in 2016, how Schapelle Corby.
A 29-minute bike ride needs the equivalent amount of energy as it takes to power 4 games.
Come on. Yeah, Schapelle. You know how I was talking about Schapelle Corby arriving back in Australia back in 20. Okay, now we can do this. Hang on, here's a clip.
She was a 27-year-old Australian beautician who'd just touched down for a beach holiday on the island of Bali.
The customs officer said, whose boogie board bag? I said, it's my boogie board bag.
Inside that bag, officials at Denpasar Airport found more than 4 kilos of marijuana.
And I swear, by God is my witness, I did not know the marijuana was in my bag.
Throughout her 2005 trial, Schapelle Corby maintained her innocence. Her lawyers argued that drugs were planted, possibly by airport employees involved in drug trafficking.
I believe for 7 months, which I've already been imprisoned, is severe enough punishment for not putting locks on my bag.
What Corby called a simple mistake turned into a 20-year sentence when a panel of 3 judges decided they didn't buy Corby's story. The sentence, well short of the life term prosecutors had called for, and the maximum penalty, death by firing squad. The trial, heavily covered by Australian media, who scrutinised every twist and turn, often overwhelming Corby and her family. Corby's sentence sparked outrage across a country that largely believed she'd been set up, and stoked fears that other young Aussies headed to Bali and other tourist hotspots across Southeast Asia could be next.
I'm sorry for her. I'll give her all the support we can. I'm not going to leave her stuck there for 20 years. It's insanity.
Fears that were reinforced with the 2006 conviction of the so-called Bali Nine, a group of young Australians jailed in connection with trying to smuggle 8 kilos of heroin off the island. Indonesian authorities continue to defend their justice system. Corby spent around 9 years behind these walls at Bali's Kerobokan prison, with regular visits from her sister Mercedes and her mother, continuing to maintain her daughter's innocence.
Why would you admit to something that's not yours?
After exhausting courtroom appeals, Corby appealed for clemency after a medical exam diagnosed her as suffering from acute depression with psychotic symptoms. And in 2012, Indonesia's president issued a decision that shaved 5 years off Corby's 20-year sentence and laid the foundation for her parole application.
How are you feeling?
And while some Indonesians have accused the authorities of giving Corby's case special attention, the country's Justice and Human Rights Minister says she's being treated the same as everyone else. Simon Morsin, CNN, Bali, Indonesia.
So, excuse me. Excuse me. Wow. Getting choked up. So that is basically the synopsis of the everything that you need to know about Schapelle Corby kind of wrap up there in a nice little bow. But the thing with that is, oh, hang on. All right, well, we'll come back to the story. Apparently, there have been some arrests in regards to the London Bridge attack. 12 people have been arrested in connection with the London Bridge attack after raids in the east of the UK Capitol Police say. Just wanted to bring that to you live as it was happening. The London attack latest, 12 people have been arrested in connection with the London Bridge terror attacks. So there you go. But the last audio that we heard is basically everything you need to know about Schapelle Corby kind of wrap up. better than what I can say it. So my opinion on Schapelle Corby is whether she did it or not, she was convicted. And justice comes in weird shapes and sizes, and I understand the passion from the family because they're family, they're going to take her side. I'm not saying that she necessarily did it per se, but I'm just saying that the country felt bad for it because this country was, particularly back in 2005 when this happened, it was this go-getter kind of everyone deserves a fair go country, and there's still some aspects of that today, less so than before. But there was with Corby, it's kind of like you were found with it, so the sympathy only goes so far for me. And yeah, did this case get special attention? Maybe, but the thing with the Bali 9 that happened in 2006, 2007, I think that audio clip said, the people involved with that, they actually did do it. So that was proven through the case. So it was never actually proven in the Schapelle Corby case whether she did it or not. That remained technically a mystery. So you go on that one. So what next for Schapelle Corby? Well, moments landing after Brisbane Airport, Corby slipped through a back exit. CNN Australia, an SBS affiliate, reported, quote, priority focus now will be healing and moving forward, a family spokesperson Eleanor Whitman said in a brief statement to reporters. An Instagram account that appears to be Corby's shows her and her sister Mercedes leaving the airport. Australia's 7 network spoke with passengers on Corby's flight. They slept, they ate, they acted like normal passengers, one woman said. Really? Wow, okay, hang on. Revolutionary concept. People act like normal passengers on flights? Hang on. Hold the phone. Who would have thought? But I did like, the one thing you need to know about the Schapelle Corby thing is I did like apparently there was a switcheroo that happened. She was meant to be on this Virgin Australia flight. Then she got on this, I can't remember what the airline was called now. I can't remember seeing it in any of the actual articles, but there was this Indonesian kind of Bali, Australia flight that she was on. So, and I did like that. Schapelle Corby was meant to be on the Virgin Australia flight, but last second was on this independent block. So, and a reporter from Sydney Morning Herald, excuse me, I don't have the name because stuff.co.nz kind of not stole it, but reposted it, we'll say. A piece in regards to defending Schapelle Corby. Oh boy, this article is very interesting. So, time for everyone's favourite segment, Dale arguing with himself live on the internet for everyone to enjoy. So enjoy. Yes, you read that correctly, but hear me out, says the reporter. For the last week, social media feeds have been filled with commentary about from the general public who claim that they quote-unquote don't care about Schapelle Corby. It was understandable reaction given the immediate attention of the convicted drug smuggler's return to Australia received last weekend. But let's be clear, the media stampede was going to happen all regardless. I rewrote that sentence to make it sound better. Ooh, snap. Some of this reporter's friends even asked on Facebook why we are giving a convicted drug smuggler so much attention, while others have argued she's not a celebrity, so we should stop turning her into one. Ooh. Just to be clear, the term quote-unquote newsworthy is not always about the worthiness of the subject matter. This is true, I'll give you that. To be given media attention based on any sense of perceived normality or that they're lack of. News value is determined purely on an interest of the story. In today's click-driven news cycle, measuring where the audience is has never been easier. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Just look at an Instagram account. It went from 0 followers to 140,000 in 24 hours. And at the time of this writing, it has 191,000. Cheapers. Last week, this column looked at the reasons why Schapelle case has remained in Australian psyche and dominated by the media landscape for so long. Excuse me. With some media professionals putting it down to pure aesthetics and stereotypes. Pretty girl next door, locked up for infested foreign prison. Okay, first of all, that's the wrong way to look at it, but she's not pretty girl next door. By the way, I just want to put that out there, but there you go. I want to get to the defending part, first of all. She's served her time and done everything Balinese authorities have asked her to do. While the Proceeds of Crime Act restrict her to the ability to cash in on much of her story, whether you want to believe it or not, Schapelle Corby is a celebrity. Indeed, over the past week, she's clearly the most famous person in Australia by a country mile, which is the same length as a regular mile, because I've never gotten that sentence. And yet, according to the Court of Public Opinion, she should be restricted from living off that fame. Yeah, but in the court of law, she is also restricted in living off that fame. What makes Schapelle Corby less deserving of the other fame junkies' questionable merit who forced upon us with near-seating regularity? Just last week, Gabe Tosi, the 31-year-old from the Gold Coast who was acquitted murdering New Zealand woman, joined the Carls and Jackie O on their Breakfast with the Stars radio show, the most popular show in the country, and a huge hit with impressionable teenagers. Ooh, yikes. His romantic life and tips on how to protect yourself on Tinder dates. The same man who was living in with the last person to see 26-year-old Wright able to be falling from her death from the 14-floor Gold Coast apartment in 2014. I remember that. Last November, Tosi has reported a $150,000 for an equally bizarre interview with 60 Minutes. Corrupt, coughed, and convicted killer Roger Hodgson teamed up with another murderer, Mark Chopper Reed, and launched a stage career with one of their studs being out on the outside, hosting comedic tour shows in pub and club circuit for years and earned a living doing so. Robertson and Reed were both immortalized on large and small screens, and the characters firmly enriched in celebritydom. And yet we hear howls of protest and how's a protest at the prospect of Schapelle Corby going on, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, surely it seems a little off balance here. I agree with the off balanceness. Certainly there is an off balance. I'll give the columnist that. But yeah, there is definitely a balance issue here. But isn't she can't see? Here's the thing: she can't cash in on telling her story per se. But what is stopping Corby from starting up her own pub circuit? Because in the case of that acquitted murderer, acquitted being the key word, he, whether it's moral or not, take morality out of this for a second. And I know it's hard for me to do that. Let me tell you what, it's hard to take morality out of an argument, but because that's the whole point of an argument. But anyway, taking morality out of this argument for the time being, he was acquitted. He was never actually charged. So, at what point do we draw that line in the sand? Is an acquitted murderer okay, or is a thug in Mark Chopper Reed? Which part is that okay? But the thing about Chopper Reed is he never actually did a tell-all style memoir, fluffy fluff interview, because first of all, out of character, right? Second of all, you couldn't do that. I think Schapelle Corby can. This is me personally. She's done her time. Whether she did it or not, it's another story. I think she should be able to do some sort of like, I don't want to use pub circuit because that seems a bit weird, but she can do her own sort of circuity tour, funny haha joke about it sort of thing. But she can't do a sit down tell all, because then it would look like a fabricated, put together story. And yes, I understand that it's 15 years later, but you know what I mean. 12 years later. So, but you know what I mean. Like it's kind of a bit different context for different mediums, if that makes sense. There you go. My opinion. Yay. As we continue here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday, well, we've got a feel-good story. This has been a downer show. It's been about drugs. It's been about bombings, that time of the month, Trump tracker. Which one of these is not like the other? But we've got a feel-good story that'll make you feel good on a Sunday. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show. It's Dale Campbell here with you. It's 10:50.
Hey you, yes you, fine listener of this program. You can help us become more than what we already are. I know, it's a revolution. Hold on to your butts, because I'm about to give you a URL address that could change our lives. Not really, but it would help us out tremendously if you went over to geek-io.net/support, so we could do a lot more than what we're actually doing now. That website actually has a lot of links on it where you can help us out monthly through Patreon at our Patreon site at patreon.com/geekio, or you can help us out once off by supporting those who support us. But then you can become the ones who support us, who support you, who support us. It's supportception. To continue this supportception, it's in your hands. Go to geek-io.net/support to keep
it is with a
this
heavy heart that I come to you with a word of warning.
Support.
Dark things are on the internet. I know, like me, you thought it was all funny cat pictures and sneezing pandas, but apparently there is also pornography, digital movie downloads and such. And people are accessing them secretly using ProXPN. To make matters worse, they're using our promotion code GEEK20 to save money while doing so. Even the original sanctity of online services such as Netflix and Hulu are being bypassed in this way. That was not the intention of Geek.io offering you a discount using GEEK20 at checkout. So please, only use GEEK20 to save 20% at checkout with ProXPN if you're going to use it for secure and safe interneting while banking and watching the YouTubes. Hello, dear listener. Here at Geek.io, we're always happy to give some support to the little person. So today I'd like to let you know about a small internet startup called Amazon.com. Go to geek-io.net/Amazon to check out their large catalogs of books and magazines. I believe they may have some other items for sale too, records and videotapes perhaps. Using geek-io.net/Amazon lets them know you discovered them through us, and I'll throw a few pennies our way. Thank you.
I got bad news for you. Your t-shirt sucks. You should take it off and buy a new one. And the best place to buy a new t-shirt is www.geek-io.net/tfury, because I can have a t-shirt, you can have a t-shirt, but you better not get it from anywhere else but T-Fury. I am JD, and I approve this message.
Hold on tight. This is the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. It's Dale Campbell here with you. It's a pleasure as always. That's right. We are heading into the final segment of the show here on the Generic Live Show. It's been a jam-packed show, actually, today. We had news of... We had some sad news today. I feel like I'll look back on this episode and think, what a downer, actually. I mean, we had our fun moments, but I'll look on this episode and go, what a downer, actually. But, well, but, you know, like I said at the beginning of the show, and I'll say it here at the end of the show, the point of this show is to bring you the news every single week. But apart from that, well, in weeks that I'm not sick and can't talk, but apart from that, every single week to bring you news from around the world, news that you know, probably, that you've probably heard, and to have it in one little package, but deliver it to you in a unique way. So, this week kind of had to make it fun and light, make it a light program. But it's hard to do that when there's so much just stuff happening from around the world. But you know what's not from around the world? This story, because this story will make you feel good, damn it. No one likes being upstaged, but it's kind of hard to be mad at a dog for stealing your limelight. A Russian broadcast is going viral after a newsreader report was interrupted by a mysterious intruder on the seat. Oh. The MIR24 news channel journalist was reporting about a massive demolition and renovation project in Moscow when a bold black lab wandered over to the news desk. This happy guy clearly had something to say. He started by jumping on, trying to get in the shot, but when that didn't work, he let out a bark. Oh. Still unsatisfied with the lack of airtime, he hopped up onto the desk looking like he was about to file a very important report. Oh. The report was posted by ITRC World last week, and the video has been viewed more than 3.4 million times. Actually, we have an update on that, but in a sec. The clearly stunned newsreader wasn't too thrilled about being ambushed by her post, but gave a very good reporter a bit of a pat. Oh. She finished her report by telling viewers mishaps, like that she considered herself a cat person. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, who let a dog on the set of this Russian news outlet? I mean, really? We have the video here. So it's been viewed 8.2 million times now since it got posted last week. Actually got posted on the 18th of May. So here we go. Here is what this audio sounded like.
Реализация программы реновации жилья в
It's Russian, by the way, so don't read into it too much.
Москве должна пойти на благо людей, а не во вред. Об этом заявил президент России Владимир Путин по итогам совместного заседания Госсовета. Проголосовать за снос включенного в программу реновации дома. У меня тут собака. Ага. Можно будет через интернет или в районном отделении МФС. Артем Васёв расскажет подробнее. Что у меня делает собака в студии, ребят? Я вообще кошатница. Я люблю кошек. Ну что ж, мы продолжаем выпуск. Итак, итоги выборов во Франции. Сегодня заключительный день теледебатов. Ну, а уже в это воскресенье Франция...
Okay, that was the video. I want to try and figure out what she's saying. Okay, let's turn English subtitles on. Let's see what this says.
Реализация...
Implementation of housing renovations program. Okay, let's turn this down. Moscow should go to benefit of the legendary damage, said President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, on the results of the joint meeting with the State Council to cooperate. Okay, wow. Gosh, I'm getting lightheaded reading so quickly. Meeting of the State Council to coordinate ago, but Included in the program of the renovation at home, bark. Dead dog. Ukraine, what? In Lavia can be. Where the residents will be over the internet. District branch. So drunk, Artem tell. More artvex.org. As it is a shame. Racket Snikel said yes. This step is why. Oh, this is why I like cats. Oh. We'll continue the fight. The tap is not so. Nobody could Barack Obama France today. The final plan is less than the televised debates. What? What? Okay. Translation issues. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. I've been Dale Campbell. I will continue to be Dale Campbell, hopefully. It's a pleasure to have been here this Sunday. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you all next week for another round of the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us. It's 11:01.
This has been a Geek.io Media Network production. Copyright 2017.